It is a matter of manipulating the form submission using the PHP. In addition to that, we are going to manipulate the methods, functions, procedures based on the, we refer to static methods and normal methods, parameterized methods, non-parameterized methods, and so on. So let's dig in. The first task is asking us to manipulate just the form submission. Just give me a second, please. So I'll start by generating just a simple form that matches exactly this view here. And later on, we'll dig in the manipulation of reception of the values that we submit from those fields, and so on. So let's start up. New notepad, I'm going to start a new notepad, simply. An HTML form. I'm going to give it a title, actually, form submission. Yes, I terminate my head also here, and I start my body. It's body, okay. In between here, it would be a form that would actually have all of the fields we are going to submit to the work we need. Actually, it's a matter of making simple mathematical operations, the basic math operations, multiplication, addition, subtraction, division, and so on. So here, this is the form startup, and this is the form termination. In between here, I'm going to just create my fields, my input fields, actually. Type text, this one here. I'm going to give it a name here. Let's say name number one. I'm going to say number one. Okay, simple. We'll start by just generating a form which we are going to utilize to make the addition or the subtraction or the multiplication of two numbers. So we would have two numbers to do so. Number one, we're going to input it here. The number two, we're going to input it here, and so on. And just a button to, yes, we will say here, submit the value, name submit, type, it's submit also. It's a button. It's a submit button here. Let me just visualize the effect, and later on I'm going to continue. I'll stop here because still is a need, but let's just have a visualization. File, save as. I'm going to save it in the same location, same directory. Yes, here I'm going to give it the name 123. My ID means my ID, my form. But I'm going to refer to the PHP only. I will not make anything long. I'm going to make it PHP only. We can make it HTML, yes, but let's start with the PHP immediately without wasting the time. So here, PHP, all the files, and just save. 1, 2, 3, my form. The name is my form here. Just save. Great. Refer to my editor. Okay. I'm going to choose my file. My form. What is my form? This is my form. This is the one created now only. Okay, just upload it. Yes, make the upload. Test. Great. Number one, number two. Just I'm gonna make actually placeholders just to make the thing what is needed for this field. I'm gonna just make small modification. So I'm gonna add here a placeholder that would display number one, and also another placeholder in here to display number two. So placeholders to display just simple text for clarification only what we need this field for, this and this. And beside of that, actually, I'm gonna make it each in a line. Number one, number two. No, leave it. It's enough. It's enough. Okay, it's enough. Okay. This submission form here would be actually taking the number one and the number two into the destination. What is the destination? I'm going to fix it here. I'm going to make the destination in the same page. I'm going to make the destination in the same page. See, here in the form, inside the form tag, the starting form tag, I'm going to give an action property, action equal, I'm going to say hash. Hash to refer to the page itself, actually. It's just an ID reference. But in this case here, it indicates that we are referring to the same page. More than that, we have to specify the type of the submission, the form, the method. Let's say the method we are going to utilize. I'm going to stop here and we'll come back to the context of the method. I'm going to say file save only, and I'm going to previous, choose the file again. Here it is. Upload it. Test. Yes, now see here. It is visualizing. Clearly, I can see the number. When I write any number, it gets disappeared. The number one. Number two, the same thing. When I write any number, it gets disappeared. Okay, great. Submit. Here is number one, number two. It is visualized in the form here. Why? Because we did not specify the method we use for submission. Is it to be visible or not? We have to use the method to make it actually controllable. The number one and number two, let's say visualization. I'm going to write get as a method. Get. I'm using the get as a method here. We know that from the theory only. And we see if there is any change here or not. Come back here. I said the method is get. I'm going to save. Save class. I'm going to go previous. Choose the file again. This is the one. Upload it. Test it. Great. Okay. I'm going to say number one, one, number two, two. Submit. Still nothing. Actually, we cannot see any modification. The same is still visible here. Why? Because this method here, get, it is only to display the thing. It is to submit the values in a visible way. Means it would be actually displayed in the URL here as global variables. Global variable number one, global variable number two, and so on. All of them, they would be actually displayed as global variables. And here they are. The global variable number one is number one. This is it. Here it is. Global variable number two is number two. Here it is. So, and so on. So it does the thing. So this way we are able to visualize number one value. What is it? Number one, I'm going to just try to use big numbers, for example, 1,000, number one, 500, number two. Submit. Yes, here it is. This is the 1,000 for number one, and number two equal 500. So it works very fine. This is our way. We can actually refer to the second method, which is the post. And this is what we are going to use now, post. The method I'm going to set to be post. What does this post do? It submits the same thing, actually. I'm going to save only. I'm going to save only. I'm going to test again. Previous. Choose the file. But in a hidden way. Test. I'm going to say any number here. Let's say 1,000, 500. Okay, submit. It displays the thing, but there is nothing here. Only shows me the hash. Only the hash. The hash. What is the hash? Is the destination we set for the action. That's good. So now we are able to see that we are able to manipulate the form submission. Now let's get the values, really, whatever the method is, whatever the destination is. Since we are saying that the destination is the same page here, so we are going to read those values, the submitted values, in the same page. Before the form, I'm gonna here before the form, I'm gonna create a new PHP tag or block here where I'm gonna read the number one, sorry, number one, and also the number two. Both of them I'm gonna read them here. The number one is being submitted using the post method. So I'm gonna create a variable, say named, let's say n1 equals the method we use, the method post, in between single quotation and the single, let's say square parentheses, number one. The number one here, this one here, is the same number one here. And because our method is post, here how we read it, we use the underscore, the dollar underscore post global variable reader. It would help us recuper or read the submitted variable, which is named here number one, from the form using the method post only. The same scenario would be applicable for this number two. I'm going to create a number two, $2. We're going to read the number two using the post method, and let's terminate this reading. Done. We are done. We read this way the number one, number two. Would we have a result, an output? No, absolutely no. There will be no output. I'm going to save, file save, come back, previous, choose the same file again, upload it, test it. Okay, I'm going to say number 1000, number two 500, submit. Did not display anything. Same submission, but nothing happened. Why? Because the unique output methods, they are the echo, the print, the printer, things like that. We need to use the echo or the print or the printer actually to display the output. So let's use the echo here. I'm going to say $1, sorry, $1, and also echo $2. Great. And let's see what would happen because of those two statements here. File save. And I'm going to test again. Previous. I'm going to choose the same file. Upload it. Test it now. Whatever. Number one, 1000. Number two, 500. Submit. See, here it is. 1000 and 500. They are here. They are now being written, displayed on screen. And I'm going to just bring them to be in just in one line each. What to do? I'm going to concatenate the break HTML tag. Copy. I'm going to paste it here. So just I'm going to concatenating the HTML tag, which is in between double quotations. So let me save. Let's test again. Previous. Upload it. Same file. Number one. Same answer. Any numbers. 500. Great. Number 1000. Number two, 500. It works very fine so far. That's great. So now we are able to manipulate this this input. We're going to answer the question as it says, addition, subtraction, and things like that. So I'm gonna just make an addition of, see here, I'm gonna leave the output there. I'm gonna create a new variable. I'm gonna say sum equals $1 plus $2. Simple. Second variable, multiplication equals $1 multiplied $2 by $2. Yes. Third variable, division equals $1 divided by $2. So we call it subtraction equals $1 minus $2. Finish. We are done. Yes. We got all the four operations. Let's just get the output only. Now we did the process. Let's have the output. Echo. But in between two double quotation, the sum of number one and number 2 is dot dollar sum. You see the concatenation I did? This is a string in between double quotation, and here I'm concatenated with the dollar variable. Dot dollar value. This is concatenation. I'm doing it. Okay, the same thing here. I'm going to say, just to make the thing easy, the multiplication. Number 1 by number 2 is dollar what? This is the variable. I'm going to copy it. Yes, multiplication. Let's just do the third one. The division of number 1 by number 2 is division. That's great. The same thing here for the last operation, which is the subtraction of number 1 from number 2 is subtraction. Done. We did it, all of them. Let's save now. Let's save and visualize. Saved. Let me come back. Previous. Same file. Upload it. And let's test. I have a warning. Division by 0. Because we did not submit the values. Warning. These are not an error. This is a warning. Because immediately he did the operation of division, and the value of number 2 is 0. I'm going to submit, and you see 1000, any numbers, 500, submit. This one will disappear. Khalas, disappeared. The sum of number 1 and number 2 is 2000. It's erroneous. The sum of multiplication number 1, number 2 is 50,000. There is an error. Let me check the operation. Yeah, sum of number 1 plus number 2 here, not 1. Multiplication on 1 and 2, and 1 by and 2. That's correct. Only this one, it's erroneous. Let me save now. Let's come back. Previous. Choose the file. Upload the image. Yes, here, test. As usual, same numbers as say. Great. The sum of number 1, number 2 is 1500. Correct. Multiplication 50,000. That's true. Division is 2. That's good. 1000 by 500 is 2. That's true. Subtraction 500. That's perfectly correct. I'm going to put them in a line each. Just in a line each. Dot concatenate with the HTML break. Copy. Paste. 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 Wait, let me save. Previous. Choose the same file again. And upload. Yes, test it now. Whatever the number is. Whatever the number is. Yes, good. The sum of number 1, number 2 is 5,500. Multiplication is 50,000, 500,000, sorry. Division is 2. That's great. Subtraction is 500. So that's perfectly correct. This way we were able to manipulate the form control using different variables, different form submissions, different methodologies. Just one last update I'm going to bring to this form is that we are not going to submit to the same page. Submission would be to a different page. To see the difference, I'm going to create a second page where the action would be. I'm going to create a different page where the action would be. And the action would have the same process. I'm going to create a second page, give it the name. See here, I'm going to change this hash with, I'm going to say math.php. And to respect the point is that we are using the same server, I'm going to use my ID first. So you write your ID. Or let's say maths.php, something like that. Or let's say basic math.php. So to avoid, because we had a similar file in the past. So id basic math.php. I'm going to create a file with the same name. File, copy. I'm going to save this modification first. I'm going to save this modification. Keep it there. And I'm going to open a new notepad. Save it with the same name here. id basic math.php. All save. What does it have, this file? So far, nothing. But I'm going to put all the PHP content here. All of this block here. I'm going to cut, right click, cut. I save here and come here, paste it. Save. That's it. Simple. Here it is. My ID basic math. I did not do anything. I just cut, paste, and saved. Let me upload both of them, starting with this one. I'm going to upload this one first, the ID basic math. Previous. Basic math, this is the one. Okay, I'm going to upload it. Test. He's saying the same messages, the warning. Let me come back now and upload the second, which is the original file, which is my form.php. Let me choose it. This is the one. Let's upload it and let's test. He's asking me to input the number. Let's say number 1, number 2, and submit. We are here now. See, we are here in this page. When I submit, we are at the second page. Now the page has been changed and the results are there. The sum is, the multiplication is, the division is, and so on. We are in a different page, which is the basic math, the second one. So here we manipulated again using a different way, a form submission using a different method and a different technique, no more or less. So here we succeeded in doing so. Let's pass to the next question. Simply here we are required to create a simple, let's say math, another mathematical function, but we are going to manipulate the thing using the CSS, means the design, no more or less. No more or less. So we are going to manipulate the thing in matter of design. I'll use the same solution. I'll refer to the same solution we had earlier. This is the task number 2 now. We are starting task number 2, which is the manipulation of the output. See, the first thing I'm going to do when look into the output, the numbers, I'm going to put them in different colors. The results, I'm going to put them in different colors. To do so, I come back to my page where the solution is. The sum of number 1 and number 2 is, see this this sum here. Before the double quotation here, I'm going to open a font tag that I'm going to give it the property color equal, for example, red, and I close it. Here, this font that I started here before the quotation, I'm going to close it after the quotation to be in parallel. Close it here, font, simple. And I'm going to give it to all the variables. So here I'm going to copy this one, copy, put it before this double quotation here, and before this double quotation here, and before this double quotation here. This opening tag, I'm going to close it for all also, as we did. So copy this one also, and paste it here. And also paste it here. And also paste it here. We did it. Let me save. Here, save as. I'm going to do save as to create a second. Well, just save, just one task, whatever. You know, we are still on the second task now. So I'm going to upload this same file, the both files. I'm going to upload the both files. Here, previous, choose the file which is the 1, 2, 3 basic math. Upload, test. They are colored, yes, but they are actually with no values. Let me upload the first, which is the basic math. No, my form. It's not basic math. My form. Upload it. Test it. Give numbers. Something like that. And yes, it is doing the thing. We are manipulating the output in different colors. The question said use CSS to make the manipulation. This is not CSS. This is simple HTML property. We are using the tag font and the property color. We are not using CSS. We are not using CSS so far. What I'm gonna do, see, I'm gonna change this one now into an HTML, let's say, tag. I'm gonna use the span, means actually continuation, span. It's something that continues. Span. I'm gonna keep only this one. The others I'll leave the same to make the difference, to make sure the difference. And I'm gonna create a class for this span. I'm gonna say class, yes, equal style or design. Let's say results. Class, I'm gonna give it the name results. User defined because this is the result. And also the multiplication is result and the division is result and so on. So I choose the name result. We can change, but it's user defined. User defined, yes. And how we define it here, we have to use it later on. For the class result, I'm going to give a style CSS. I'm going to copy this name, copy, right click, copy. And before the PHP here, I'm going to create a style block. And in this style here, I'm going to give the definition of the class dot, which is the result. So our result is a class. The class is represented with a dot, and the class name, here it is. In here, I'm going to give the color of the text, which is red, let's say, for example, or any other color. I'm going to give it, for example, blue, or let's say green. Okay, something like that. So let's see the difference now. I'm using a style here for this one, and I'm using the font here and the HTML tag here for the others. Let's see the result. I'm going to save, file save, and upload it again. Previous, basic math, upload it, test. It gives the thing with a different color, absolutely, but with zeros. So let me upload the my form also. Here it is. Upload it, test it, yes. Numbers, submit. Absolutely, this is in green only, and the others they are in red. So it works very fine. It perfectly works. Let's continue manipulating the content. I'm going to say here text decoration underline. I'm going to say here text decoration. I'm going to say underline. So given the underline as decoration for the text, let me save. It's a CSS command only. It's a CSS command that the computer understands, the browser understands. I saved. I'm going to upload again to see the effect. Numbers. I did not upload actually. I have to upload again. I uploaded only the form. Sorry. Even the basic math I have to upload. This one. Yes. Test. Underlined. See here. It is underlined. Let's upload the my form also. Here is the my form. Test. The number one. Number 2. Submit and see here. This is the CSS effect. Underline the others. No. Give me a second, please. So let's resume. Great. So now actually clearly we are able to manipulate the form submission content and the styling of what you are going to and what you are submitting and the results and things like that. So this way you continue your edition, because the CSS edition is not handing out the colors and the underline only. It depends on the questions usually, and all the CSS, let's say properties and attributes, they are valid to be integrated the same way. Let's pass to task number 3 now. Let's solve actually the same context, but here just simple addition, but using two methodologies, parameterized and non-parameterized functions. We are going to use functions to do so. A function, F function, with two different approaches: parameterized, non-parameterized. New notepad. Okay, I'm going to create a new, let's say, what? I'm going to create a PHP block immediately. We do not need the form submission here. And in between, I'm going to declare a first variable. Let's say var1 equals, let's say 5. var2 equals, let's say 6. Okay, var result, or let's say result, the third one, the res, or the addition. One equals dollar var1 plus dollar var2. Semicolon. Great. Okay, just simple equal dollar addition. Simple. What we added here, we are going to bring it in output. Simple. I'm going to save. I save as. Same location. I'm going to give the name my ID first of all. Addition functions. Addition function. Okay. Addition function 1. .php. Addition function 1.php. All the files here. Just save. Yes, save. Let me just test that. Upload it first. Choose the file, one addition function. Here is the one, addition function 1. Upload it. Test it. 11. What is the 11? Is the 5 plus 6. Is the 5 plus 6. Simple. Let me just change the values here. Let's say 15. And here's 60. For example, any numbers, any ends. File save only. And let's test again. 15 plus 60, it has to be given 75. Choose the same file again. Upload it and test it. Yes, 75. It works very fine. So it is perfectly working correct. That's perfect. Let's come back now. The question said use functions to do this process. What I'm going to do here, let's create the function. Function keyword. I have to respect function. I give it the name, let's say addition. And I have to indicate that it is a function, the simple parenthesis, and then after a scope, a start and end. Curly brace to start, curly brace to terminate. In here, in between, I'm going to do the process. What is the process? Those variables and this addition. Cut, paste. The same process here inside the function. Echo addition now. That's it, simple. Will it be working now? Let's see now. There is a difference. We have to see if it will work or not. We have the same process. Let's see what we will have. Save only. And let's see if we will have the same 75 or not. Previous. Choose the same file. Upload it. Test it. And nothing is there. When we visualize the source, nothing is completely empty. It's definitely empty, fully and empty. So thus this way, there is a problem here. There is no output. Did we have an echo? Yes, we have an echo. But where is the output? Nothing. There is no output. Why? Because we cannot call this addition while the scope of the addition is locally to the method addition. This variable cannot be utilized out of those curly braces. We cannot. It's local to this method now. We have one of the solutions. First of all, we have to specify that this echo cut is done or is called or is utilized inside the scope, in between width. Let's save now and see. This is the first step. Let's see if we will get a result or not. Now it's correct, but will we get a result? The same file, upload, test it, and still no output. Let me see the view, the source of the page. No, empty. Nothing is there. Nothing is there. Nothing is there. What happened? Nothing happened actually. Simple. We had a function that has a scope from here to here. That's it. This is the process. Did you call an output? The output here inside the process. But this process is never been utilized. It's the definition here. We define a function that has a process. We have to call the method to have an impact. This is a simple, let's say, function definition. Function definition. We are defining the function, how it works in this block. And now let's call the function to have the effect. Say function call. Simple. Call the function. Just simply just call this name. I'm going to copy paste. And semicolon. That's it. That's the name of the method. Semicolon to terminate. File save as, and that's it. Not save as. I'm going to just make save only. Simple. File save. Yes, saved. Let me upload the file again. Test it. 75. It works very fine now. We have it. It's running very fine. Why? Because we had the process here. The process is being utilized. So this is the way how we can make the process. But this is a non-parameterized function. I'm going to change the definition here. Non-parameterized function. Okay, save here. I'm going to save. Great. Let's pass to the second method, which is asking us to use a parameterized function. Let's do that. I'm going to save this file with a different name. File save as. Function 2, I'm going to say function 2. All. Save. Great. Function 2. The modification I'm going to bring to this, I need the same result. Yet, this function has to be parameterized. Those var1 and var2, I'm going to put them here. And the parameters of this addition method, $var, let's say 1, comma, $var2. Simple. I have var1 and var2. I do not need them here. Clearly saying here, no need for those two parameters. No need, completely. And can I have a result now? We can, but we have an error. First of all, we have to fix it. This addition here has to be with parameters. var1 and var2, they are declared here. Here they have to be represented with values. I'm going to say 10, 15, for example. 10 to replace the var1, 15 to replace the var2. Let me save the second now. File save. Let's upload this second. Previous. To the same file. The number 2, this is the one. Upload it. Test it. 25. Very fine. What is the 25? It is the 10 plus 15. 10 plus 15. 10 plus 15. 25. Works very fine. Here we are using parameterized, not non-parameterized. It is a parameterized. This is parameterized function. File save. Great. Great. Now we did it. Let's pass to the last task. Let's pass to the last task. We are going to solve the same problem, the same issue here, the addition of two numbers, but using parameterized and non-parameterized static functions. Static functions. We need to define the static function first of all in order to continue. First of all, we have to know what is a static. The static is actually a property of defining a function within a class in order to avoid some security issues or some, let's say, privacy issues. What does it mean? Let's save this task differently. It's the same process, but differently to be solved. I'm going to save it addition function 3, different name. Addition function, I'm going to say 3. All the files and save. Great, 3. It is 3 PHP. That's good. To define a function as a static, just simply here, I'm going to say static. That's it. Static function. But to say that the function is static, it has to be inside a class. I'm going to say class ABC that has a start. Start here, and I'm going to terminate it after the definition of the function here. Class is a block, it's a blueprint, it's a block of code that has a start and end, where we can find variables and methods defined. So in this class, we are defining a static method to have its output later on. This call here is outside of the class. The call of the method is outside of the class. Simple like that. But this method, this is the one, is static. What is the problem? There is no problem. To call a method defined inside a class, to call it outside the class, there is a secret. There is a syntax that you have to respect here. And this syntax, there are secrets because of this static. Without talking much, I'm going to just state the way how we call the method. The method is, the name of the method is static. The name of the class is ABC. I'm going to, before of this addition, the name of the method, I'm going to type the name of the class ABC, scope resolution operator, the 4 dots, and that's it, simple. Remember this annotation because we are defining the method as static. Let's see if it will work or not. Method 3 here. Let me file save. File save. Let's upload it. Previous. Choose the same file. No, file 3, yes. Upload it. Okay, test it. 25. 25, it works very fine. It gives me the same result. The same result. I'm going to change this 10, for example, with 50. And this one, let's say it would be 75, something like that. So it has to give me 125, the result. Something like that. Save, file save. Let's test it again. Previous. Choose the same file again. 3. Upload it, test it. 125. It works very fine. So perfectly work in this call. See, I'm going to delete this ABC here, this class, and see if it will work or not. Previous, choose the same file. 3, upload it, test it. No, fatal error. It's a very catastrophic error. We cannot call a static method defined inside the class this way. We cannot call it. We have to specify class name, then the scope resolution operator. Simple. So this way we are just calling a static method from outside the class, and this is the syntax that you have to respect, no more, no less. Let's move to the second part, which is to same thing, the same activity we will do, but the task said that we have to use a non-static method. Let's say here, this way actually we solve the static method, non-parameterized. Let's say no. This is yes. This way actually we solve the call of the parameterized method. Let's solve the same issue with the non-parameterized. I'm going to save the file differently. Number 4, let's say. Okay. All the files. Save it. Done. 4. I'm going to make the modifications. Just those variables here. I do not need them here. And I'm going to define them here. $var1. Let's say I'm going to give it a value equal, for example, 100, and $var2 equals 50, for example. That's it. R2. That's simple. And here, no need for those values. No, because already represented here. They are not in the parameters anymore. Simple. I'm going to save my file now and upload it again. The same number 4. Upload it, test it. 150. What is the 150? Is the addition of 100 plus 50. It works perfectly without any issue at all. That's great. The last thing actually is to solve the thing using a non-static method. Let me see if the question is asking us. Okay, he's not asking us actually for a static and non-static, but I'm going to just show it to you to demonstrate. I'll stop at this level. Because we have a task next practice talking about the non-static methods. So I'm going to stop the record and then send it to you just immediately right after. And